Hey everybody, my name is Casey and I am the Creative Ambassador for Cloud9 UK, and today I'm going to be talking all about the texture wand. So the texture wand has a mineral coating along the plate to ensure optimum condition. There are 4 heat settings: automatic, low, medium and high, to ensure that your heat is perfectly prescribed for your hair type. Today I'm going to be showcasing a really cool creative look on curly hair using the texture wand. I hope you enjoy. Thanks. So this is my model Valencia. Valencia has naturally really curly hair. She has good definition, but what we're now going to do is we're going to use the texture wand to define her curl a little bit more and to create a little bit more volume because she's lacking that on the top there. So what I'm going to do is, obviously my texture wand is on a medium heat because I don't want it too high. Curly hair can be quite fragile, so just bear that in mind when using heated products. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to spray a heat protection spray, and then we're going to use our wand to define the curl. We can either choose to use this part, or we can use all of it at the same time for a varying size of curl. So I'm going to go more down towards the thinner end, and what I'm going to do is curl each section the opposite direction to my last to make it feel like an organic curl. Otherwise, what we'll end up with is something that looks too methodical, it'll look too styled, and it'll look too false. So what we actually I'm going to change it to the side a little bit. Perfect. So I'm also going to try and maintain the majority of the hair to one area of my wand here, which is what I'm doing. I'm just going to tease that off there, lovely. So if you want root lift, what you need to do is you need to lift the hair up and then wrap the hair around the wand, and that'll create a bit of root lift. If you start from further away, so if you start from far away from the scalp, I will show you what to do, because what I would normally do is I would wind the wand in. So for example, I'm going to change it back again a little bit, amazing. So I'm going to lift my hair like this, I'm going to wrap that around the wand, but as you can see there's a little about an inch and a half distance between the wand and the hair. So what I'm now going to do is I'm actually going to turn the wand a little bit, I'm going to spin it so it's closer to the root. And then we're just going to let that drop into my hand, and we end up with a really bouncy curl. So we're just going to continue to do this right the way through the top and the front section here. And then what we're going to do a bit later on is we're going to put Valencia's hair up and create a really kind of cool, street kind of cool girl look. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to use different parts of the wand for at different times, and I'm also going to kind of spin them the other way around as well, just so we also vary in direction, but we also vary in the size of the curl. And this can be a really easy way for you to enhance your curl with hardly any effort. So even if you were, I don't know, working in the office and you just want to enhance your curls, then you can just kind of work on the front for 5 or 10 minutes. So if you're wearing your hair up and you want to define if it goes around your hairline, it's also a great way to do that as well. I actually love this product. This is like anytime somebody asks for like Beyonce curls, love it. Absolutely love it. Perfect. Lovely. So I'm going to do another section here, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you up close. So maybe, Valencia, we will move a little bit closer to camera, just so we can get a closer look to what we're doing. Amazing, and turn for me a little bit. Perfect. So this time I'll start at the back section just here. Wonderful. So I'm going to take a section about that big. And again, all the sections can change in thickness as well. And we're going to lift that up because we want a little bit of volume on this. And what we're going to do is we're going to put the wand in here about an inch away from the scalp. I'm going to start winding that hair around. And then what we're going to do is when we come to the end of the hair, we're actually going to roll in the wand so it's tighter to the scalp. And then we're just going to pull that out. And what we have is a really, really bouncy curl. So like I said, this is really great for naturally curly hair, but it's also great for somebody who hasn't got curly hair and who wants to really kind of embrace kind of like that big, fuller, kind of bouncier feeling. I know a lot of my clients absolutely love this, but it's turning a little bit more towards the camera. Just that's it, amazing. So I'm just taking, you know, this section is quite large in comparison to the previous. And again, just gonna kind of wind that around. And then we're gonna just spin that in. It's also really important to use some heat defense with this as well. At the time I will be using my Cloud9 Quick Dry Potion, which is really good for heat defense on wet or dry, and because it is oil based you can use it on wet or dry, which is great. So a wand is also really great if you have like hair is actually straight, or kind of like if it's long and you just kind of want some waves in it. It'll all depend on the size of your sections. So if you have long hair and you just want like some loose waves, you take quite a large section and wrap it around, and then because you've taken a larger section, you'll get like a softer wave. And again, this time I'm going from the top of the wand to the bottom. I'm going to spin that in a little bit. Like I said, really great to not only enhance natural curls, but also let anybody that wants to have curly hair try it out as well. And it's actually really easy. You know, a lot of people find a tong quite difficult, but a wand I find easier because you're just literally you're kind of like whapping that hair around a wand and it's done, kind of thing. There you go. So let's move back a little bit. Amazing. So as you can see, there's a lot of tight curls there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to work across the front and we're going to work through the back, and then we'll be back with you in just a second. Bye. So now that we've finished curling Valencia's hair, as you can see, all of her hair looks really defined. It's a bit too defined for us, but we have got a bit more of that root lift up the top. So what we're going to do now is we're going to be using the texture comb by Cloud9, and we're just going to kind of softly kind of loosen out some of these curls. So very, very important to just kind of tease small amounts of hair at the same time, otherwise you will bald yourself or your client. But yeah, so just kind of take small individual sections, just kind of create that natural texture. It doesn't need to be all of them either. You can literally just kind of pick up random pieces and just kind of brush those out. And then doing this will just give you quite a lot of volume, and it'll kind of add that nice natural texture. Sometimes having a full head of extremely defined curls, like super bouncy, etc., we want it a little bit more up to date than that. This is not the 1990s, even though the majority of people dress like it at the moment. So we're just literally gonna kind of grab random curls, and we're gonna kind of get our texture comb and just kind of really brush them out. And then what we're gonna do is, once we're done using the texture comb, we're actually going to put Valencia's hair up. So I want to show you Valencia's hair down, and just kind of like as a finished product after kind of curling it and dressing it like we're doing now. But then what we're going to do is I'm going to show you kind of how to kind of wear it up. I think it could look really, really cool. And then what I'm going to do, actually, Valencia, is if you wheel yourself back, love that, and then I'm going to get you to get your hands in there, flip your head upside down and kind of, come on, give it a good old hair whip. That's it. So she's really kind of amazing. Love that. So as you can see, way more volume, way bigger, really nice and textured, but it's still got some really nice definition there as well, which I think is really, really important. A lot of people with curly hair just miss the definition, so I think it's super important that we try and enhance that. But what we're going to do now is we're going to try and get Valencia's hair up into something that just looks really cool, really casual, and really current. So stay tuned. So now that we've brushed out Valencia's hair and we've got a little bit more volume and a little bit more texture, what we're going to do now is we're going to kind of create that 90s supermodel, building up the curls on top, a lot of volume up here. Don't want it too tight, we just kind of want it a little bit softer throughout the back. So that means that we're not going to overbrush the back there, and we're almost going to kind of create like a faux fringe around here with the hair that kind of falls forward. So to do that, we're not going to use a bobble, we're just going to use an elastic with hooks on either side, so just one of these. So you can use a bobble or you can use an elastic. I'm going to use this because it gives it a slightly softer hold, so it's not super tight, so you can kind of control how much tension you have with this as well, which is good. So what we're going to do is we're going to pick out a few random curls to just kind of fall out around the hairline, because again, we do want some really nice soft pieces falling down. Too much. There you go. Awesome. So again, we want to kind of keep that really nice softness around the hairline. I think that, now because I have a black t-shirt on, I can't actually see what Valencia's hair looks like, so I'm just going to kind of step away and use the white background to see what we're left with on the face. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a texture spray, and we're just going to spray, sorry Valencia if that's cold, and I'm going to brush it a little bit with my brush, but again, I don't want it too tight, I just kind of want it tight enough so it looks like it's been done properly, but I almost want a little bit of texture. So I want the texture to carry from here right the way down the back. So I'm just kind of taking my fingers through there, just using some kind of dry texture spray just to kind of hold that in place. And then what we're going to do is we're going to kind of hold our fist around with one hand, and we're just going to use this hook and we're going to hook it into Valencia's hair, and then we're just going to kind of wind it round. But like I said, we're not going to kind of go too far round. One more round. Just make sure it's not too tight. So that there is fine. However, we want a little bit more volume in this. So what we're going to do is we're going to spray the root of this ponytail. We're going to kind of texturize it a little bit more. Just kind of pull that out a little bit. And then we're going to lift some hair up. So again, we want to make sure that we're not kind of breaking up the curls too much. But we do want a little bit of back comb on the root of that there. Again, not too much because we don't want to over damage the curl, and we don't want to compromise the condition. So what we're going to do is we're going to use a hairpin, which is this here, and we're going to twist the hair around and then place it in so it kind of sits on the scalp like that. So it sits on the scalp vertically like that, and that will kind of hold the hair up. So now that I've finished defining Valencia's curls using the texture wand whilst it's up, I've really secured that ponytail by using more of the scaffolding pins as well, just to make sure that they're nice and even and nice and neat. So these are the pins that I've used here, and I've just kind of put them right the way through to make sure that everything is nice and secure. And then I really wanted to make sure that the curls from the ponytail fell on top of the curls around the hairline to really kind of elongate that texture. So if I turn Valencia to the side, the texture goes from the ponytail right the way down to the hairline instead of there feeling like anything is missing there at all. What I also done was, I'm going to turn Valencia around, again, right the way around, is I've used a texture spray and a whole spray throughout the back here, and I've just used my finger to comb that hair up there, because again, I don't want it to look too neat. I almost kind of want it to look like it's a little bit buckled, and she's done it herself. And obviously we've used another pin just in here to bring a few of the curls together to make sure that there's not a gap or anything at the back there. We kind of want to make sure that there's texture right the way around. So yeah, I'm really actually happy with this. I think I'm finished with this. So what I'll do is I'll kind of do a recap for you guys. So we started off by using the texture wand right the way through. So we've done a full head of curls with this to really define Valencia's natural curl. And then after that, we used the texture comb by Cloud9, which is this here, to loosen up some of those curls and create a bit more volume and a little bit more texture. And that way, it kind of created this really nice full kind of really sexy curl, which was beautiful. And then to kind of flip it on top of its head, we decided to put a casual spin on it and put Valencia's hair up. So we left some random curls out around the hairline, and then used an elastic to kind of wrap around Valencia's ponytail. And then what we've done is we used some pins, like this here, as you can see there. And we just built up the volume by twisting the curls twice and pushing them into the ponytail there to create that volume. Without those pins there, you won't get the volume. You'll just kind of get a flatter ponytail, so we really wanted to kind of lift that out. And then we finished off by using a texturizing spray to really kind of add a bit more texture to those curls. And it looks great, it looks fantastic. I hope you've enjoyed this tutorial, everybody. It looks sexy, it looks cool, it looks casual. It's like almost like a day to night kind of thing as well. You know, you can spend the day with your hair down, and then in the night just kind of whack it up in 10 minutes and it looks perfect. But seriously, the texture wand is fantastic. We've only used a medium heat on Valencia because she has medium hair texture, so she does need a high heat. And we just wanted to define the curl without it being too damaging, or we just kind of wanted to prescribe her with her personal heat. So by using the texture wand, you can prescribe yourself with your own heat and make sure that your hair is in optimum condition. I hope you've enjoyed today's tutorial on how to use the texture wand on curly hair. If you have any questions, don't be afraid to pop them in the comment box below. But apart from that, have a good day and I'll see you soon.